15 geological wonders that bend the rules of Earth and still baffle science, ending with a place that feels like another world. Start where ice runs red. In Antarctica, Taylor Glacier leaks blood falls, a rust-colored brine loaded with iron that oxidizes the instant it hits air. The source is a hidden saltwater lake sealed for over 1 million years with no light and no oxygen. Microbes there survive by using iron and sulfur, which is why astrobiologists study it as a model for life under the ice of Europa or Enceladus. Deep below Chihuahua, Mexico, the Cave of the Crystals holds the largest natural selenite beams ever found. Some reach more than 36 feet long and formed because mineral-rich water sat at a stable temperature near 136 degrees Fahrenheit for hundreds of thousands of years. The chamber is deadly to humans at around 122 degrees with extreme humidity, so explorers wear ice-cooled suits and limit time inside. On the coast of Northern Ireland, the Giant's Causeway looks engineered. About 40,000 packed basalt columns cooled from lava roughly 60 million years ago and cracked into polygons. Most are hexagons and some rise almost 40 feet. The exceptional uniformity still pushes active physics research into cooling rates, chemistry, and stress. In Death Valley, heavy rocks slide across Racetrack Playa and etch tracks into the clay. The motion happens on rare winter mornings when thin ice sheets float on shallow water. A light breeze moves the ice, and the ice nudges the stones over the slick mud. Cameras and GPS finally documented it in the last decade. Far out in the Caribbean, Belize hides a perfect circle called the Great Blue Hole. The site is over 1,000 feet wide and more than 400 feet deep. It began as a limestone cavern during the last ice age and later collapsed as seas rose. Divers have found huge stalactites deep below the surface and a toxic layer of hydrogen sulfide near the bottom where life vanishes. High in Bolivia, at nearly 12,000 feet, Salar de Uyuni is the largest salt flat on Earth. It spans more than 4,000 square miles and is so even that satellites use it for calibration. In the rainy season, a thin sheet of water creates a mirror that erases the horizon. The plain is the remnant of an ancient lake and hides vast lithium brines below its crust. Geologists still analyze how the surface patterns into near-regular polygons. Northwestern China's Zhangye Danxia hills display tilted bands of red, orange, yellow, green, and blue. About 24 million years of sandstone and minerals stacked up and later tipped as the land rose. Erosion peeled back the cover to reveal color-saturated stripes that shift with light and weather. The clarity of the banding lets scientists read a long record of changing conditions. Where the Catatumbo River meets a large Venezuelan lake, lightning flares most nights of the year. Storms can last 9 or 10 hours and strike for up to 260 nights annually. Warm Caribbean air collides with cool winds flowing off the Andes and builds towering clouds in a basin that traps moisture. Researchers still debate all the ingredients, including whether local methane adds to the charge. Romania's Movile cave was sealed off for over 5 million years before workers broke in during 1986. The air is low in oxygen and rich in hydrogen sulfide and carbon dioxide. Yet dozens of species live there, many found nowhere else, and the food web runs on chemosynthesis instead of sunlight. Strict protections limit entry to avoid contaminating a self-contained system. Off Yonaguni Island in Japan, a stepped stone complex sits about 80 feet underwater. The rock shows sharp angles, terraces, and straight trenches. Many geologists argue the formation is natural due to the way sandstone fractures into blocks. Others point to features that look worked and note the area was last above sea level more than 10,000 years ago. Across Mauritania, The eye of the Sahara spans about 25 miles, in rings that are clearest from space. Early ideas favored an impact, yet the site lacks shocked minerals and debris. The structure matches layered sedimentary and volcanic rocks, lifted into a dome and eroded into bands over immense time. The near-perfect symmetry continues to puzzle researchers. On Kokohe Beach in New Zealand, almost spherical Moeraki boulders rest in the sand. These are giant concretions that grew as minerals cemented sediment around a core over millions of years. The biggest likely took 4 to 5 million years and began forming about 60 million years ago. Their smooth roundness and surface cracks remain an active topic in concretion studies. In southwestern Turkey, Pamukkale builds bright white travertine terraces with hot spring water rich in calcium carbonate. As the water cools, mineral coats harden into gleaming rims that capture blue pools. The Greeks and Romans built Hierapolis above and used the baths for more than 2 millennia. The formation is fragile and dims if the flow changes. Namibia's grasslands host millions of fairy circles that dot the red soil in strikingly even spacing. Each bare disc can range from about 6 to nearly 100 feet across. One school credits sand termites that remove roots and store water. Another points to self-organizing vegetation that spaces itself to share scarce moisture. Evidence supports both processes at different sites. At the borders of Venezuela, Brazil, and Guyana, Mount Roraima rises as a sheer walled table mountain. Its sandstone dates to around 2 billion years ago and forms a high plateau cut off by 1,300-foot cliffs. The summit hosts unique life, including carnivorous plants and small black frogs that do not swim. Waterfalls spill from the edges and fade into mist long before they reach the forest. Which of these strange places would be worth the trip for you?